So hey, welcome back to the vlog. Another week has passed, and hopefully you had a great weekend and that your week is going well so far. It looks as though we're heading into another so-called storm, but we'll see what actually transpires. They're saying there's supposed to be a significant accumulation of snow, but then they're talking about 5 to 10 centimeters, which is pretty much nothing. And that's my weather forecast for this week. Cheers. I had mentioned a couple of weeks ago that there were a couple of things coming up. One of them was the Wakefield International Film Festival that's still going on right now. The last weekend is just coming up. I actually got ahead of myself last vlog. If you'll remember, I was talking about, I was basically just geeking out over the Oscar statuette that's going to be there. And I guess because I was working on other stuff a week in advance, I had it in my head at the time that, okay, it's going to be that weekend that just passed, but it's actually this weekend that I'm planning on going. But again, we'll see what happens. We'll see how the weather turns out and whether that drive is going to be too treacherous for a lousy driver like me to make and get back in one piece. The other thing that I really wasn't too sure about talking about, but has actually happening, is that not too long ago I was asked to be a judge of the Sparta Film Challenge, which is a short film series that happens here in Ottawa every year. The organizers reached out to me and asked if I would be interested. Absolutely. I was a little bit hesitant at first, but that primarily had to do with trying to think about how I would react if I was a filmmaker and my work was being judged by somebody like me as opposed to a bona fide peer. But in talking to a few people, they just said, well, you know, if you weren't suitable, you wouldn't have been asked, was basically the bottom line response. And I'm absolutely thrilled and honored to be asked to be a part of this. I see this as a phenomenal opportunity for somebody like me who for years has been trying to, in my small way, support the local film scene, support the local theaters. So there's that aspect of it, and I try to support those venues and various film events that are happening throughout the city in a variety of ways, through the website at moviequips.ca, through the social media stuff that I do, as well as the videos that I produce. The highlight video is a perfect example of that, where I try to spotlight a variety of movies ranging from small independent films right through to the Hollywood imports that you know about months in advance because of their marketing budget. And I try to kind of even out the playing field and let you know about all of these different movies that are playing, and whether or not some of them are Canadian movies or locally produced movies. You know, they have just as much right to be spotlit as the huge films that are pretty well assured of making millions in their opening weekend. So to be asked to be a part of this and given the opportunity to judge the work of independent filmmakers, I see this as just a phenomenal thing for me, to actually be a part of something that encourages independent filmmakers to continue with their talent and with their craft. And I just want to wish everyone who submitted their film the best of luck. What I've seen so far is amazing work. It blows my mind the amount of talent that we have here in Ottawa. Also, I got a chance to actually have a comics haul. It's a small comics haul. I just happened to be at one of the used bookstores and noticed that they had some old comics. The comics that I picked up is just a small stack, but I was kind of happy that I was able to put together a small comics haul. of the older comics. I mean, here's one. It's Wonder Woman number 278, so that's pre-Crisis of Infinite Worlds. Along with that, I was also able to find a bunch of post-Crisis Wonder Woman comics. Let's just see, I've got 5 here, which was actually really cool to find these. The one that I'm going to spotlight, though, is Wonder Woman number 4. And in this one, from here, I'll show you. Cool cover there, from 1987. And this issue, it was a reboot, one of the many, but this particular reboot of Wonder Woman brought her back to be more in line with her original story. If you're familiar with the Volume 1 story, where they originally tried to reboot her character, she was made of clay, turned to life by the gods. In this particular series that ran from issue 0 to 50, so there were 51 issues altogether, she is a person again. She's not made of clay. She's actually, I believe she's actually back to being a demigod in this particular series. Also, I believe with issue 4, because it was a reboot, I believe this is actually the issue, if I have it right, this is the issue where Wonder Woman actually gets her name Wonder Woman. She's named by the media. And if I can find that in this comic, then I'll show you in the close-up of the issue. Very cool to be able to find these. Another issue that I was able to find, which was pretty cool, was an early issue of Swamp Thing. This is the saga of Swamp Thing. This series was the second. Yeah, it ran from 1982 to 1996. This was the second series. This one is issue number 6. It's kind of chewed up. It's got some bashes and scrapes and all the rest of it. And if you're familiar with Swamp Thing, that you know then that Alan Moore took over the writing duties for Swamp Thing, and it was actually issue 20 that he took over in the saga of Swamp Thing, where he ended up killing off most of the established characters and essentially changing what Swamp Thing was. And a fun fact for movie buffs that concerns this particular comic book series is that it was started up again to run in conjunction with the 1982 Wes Craven movie, The Swamp Thing, that starred Adrienne Barbeau. And then shortly afterwards, it was a year after this series was started up, that Alan Moore joined up and took over the writing duties. The next book is The Brave and the Bold, number 182, starring Batman and Robin, the Ex-Boy Wonder. This story actually takes place on Earth 2, where, and I guess that's the reason why they say the Ex-Boy Wonder, because the Batman in Earth 2 actually died, but the Batman from Earth 1 ends up on Earth 2 face to face with, you'll see here, with Robin of Earth 2 as well as Batwoman. And they've taken up the mantle of the deceased Batman on Earth 2, and now they come face to face with Earth 1 Batman. And what was funky about this, I thought, was that you notice they're using the old Batmobile design, that I think that was actually Bob Kane's design for the Batmobile, but they use it in this issue, and I thought that was really cool that they kind of reached back to that time where it was a very strange looking car, very weird, almost carnival-like. So this last issue that I'm going to show you, I wish it was in better condition, just because it is kind of a landmark issue. This is the Invincible Iron Man 169. And the reason why this is a landmark issue is that this is the last issue that Tony Stark is Iron Man. From 170 onward for the next couple of years, James Rhodes is actually Iron Man. He takes over the suit. So that was cool that I was able to find those and share them with you, as well as sharing with you the awesome news about the Sparta Film Challenge that's coming up for independent filmmakers here in Ottawa. So yeah, have a great weekend. Thank you again for checking in on the vlog, and have a good one. Cheers.